Hello, how are we? Does anyone know it's Christmas yet? So I had a lovely conversation with my beautiful friend, I Am Health Kinesiology, and we got onto the topic of too much stuff. Too much stuff, too much. And it's at this time of year when we are duped into thinking we need even more stuff. And you are running around trying to think of stuff, to create as stuff as a present for people, to give them stuff. It's just like a continuing thing, isn't it? But the reason that this conversation transpired was because of an experience that I had yesterday, which I look back and it does make me laugh a little bit. But as I was walking back from work down the street, it's a beautiful day, and this woman was walking towards me. So I smiled and said, "Hiya." And just as we passed each other, she went, "Excuse me, I don't want to smile today." And I said, "You don't have to. You don't have to smile. That's absolutely fine." "Well, I won't, thank you very much. I'm not going to smile, thank you," and walked off. She did swear after, but I won't say that on social media. And I just thought, wow. The ironic thing was that she was carrying a bag full of wooden crosses, which I presume she was obviously taking to the church. So when we have too much stuff, and let's just try it now, right? When I think of too much stuff, if I think, right, too much stuff, if I think of all the stuff that I have to do, it makes me want to do this. I feel heavy here and I crush down here. The weight of here affects the structure down here. Now, this is just a way, and it's fascinating how majority of our bodies respond in the same way to certain life experience. And I really love one of my teachers, Anna Judith, her psychology of the chakras, because it's just a way of showing you how your body reacts to things and how you've conditioned yourself. So when I think of too much stuff like this, what's happening is this burden that I'm perceiving myself to only I can deal with makes me want to collapse here, because when I come into the heart and the way that I love and I feel, it makes me shut off from the rest of the world and contract inwards. Then what that does is the weight of this up here, this burden, this grief, this isolation that happens when you start cutting yourself off, crushes your power center, which we all know is our core. It's our core. Our core is our power center. It's where we metabolize. It's really where most of our movement comes from. All of that from burden and from too much stuff. And when I look at that woman, it was really fascinating, because we condition ourselves with our emotions. We grow our own body through how we learn how to move through life. And her body was that of very, very tiny, almost contracting in. And this is what happens when you come into any abuse of this center here, the way that we digest love and relationships. If it's abused, shame, abusive relationships, really cold environments, just no love whatsoever, it has this effect, because you don't have, get this, you don't have the courage, power center, will to push that up and give you that openness in your heart. And that's exactly how she carried herself. Through the trauma, perhaps, I'm just reading her body of whatever has happened in life, the burden of carrying all of her crosses for someone else. I also love the fact that she said, "Thank you very much," in her comment. That speaks volumes, right? She wants to say what she truly needs to say, but she also has to be polite about it. I think a lot of us feel like that at times, don't you? So when we have an abuse going on here in regards to love and relationships and the expression of reaching out for love and for thinking you could take it and give and take and give, it makes you retract. It makes you pull away. It makes you want to be small. All of the things that were showing up in this woman's body. So a lot of the time, all of these abuses, all of this trauma affects our ground. And recently, it's funny, isn't it? You know, you study for a very long time, but the light only pings on, it only dawns on you when you are ready. And all of these traumas have two ways of affecting you. They either hypo or hyper. You either push against them or you either contract and come away from them. And most of the time it affects the ground that we walk on. It affects our relationship to the ground. And I watch people, and I was experimenting with this the other day, with that thought of too much and burden and what it did to my body. And as I walked, I was dumping down, and I was just, the way I can describe it, I was just slopping against the ground. You know, I was heavy. It was all about me. It was all about, oh my God, I've got to take this on. And this is only me just mucking around with these sensations. But when I became aware of the earth's plane, and that I needed to push the ground away to walk, wow, it changed everything. Give it a go when you have a moment, right? Think of like burden and just walk. For me, it didn't feel too great. Actually, I'm just thinking about it now, it makes me feel quite sick. Like, ugh. As soon as I changed that perspective of I need to push my feet into the ground, my whole structure changed. I rose up, I was longer, I was lighter, there was more space. I could feel the energy here and here. In such a simple exercise, a transformation was achieved. So we always need to work on our ground. But when it comes to feeling this sensation sometimes, a really nice exercise, and I'm just going to reach into my son's toy box, is if you've got a nice soft ball and a wall, now I won't turn because you're going to just see my back, is to take said ball and just gently push it into the chest. Now you'll be standing for this, so make sure you are pushing down and out with your feet. And when I say down and out, what I mean is, yes, you're pushing your feet into the floor, but you're also thinking about, if you're on a yoga mat, splitting that yoga mat, or if you're on a floor, like moving the floor, but your feet don't move. You should feel very strong in your legs, and there's a slight bend in your knees. So when you can feel that support of your legs, the ball comes into the heart, and you gently rest this against the wall, hand, wall. From here, what I want to do is I push down into my feet. I want to expand my chest with my breath and find that energy to push. Now, I'm not leaning. There's a difference. I'm not doing this, because what happens is when you lean, you stick your tailbone out, you dump your core, the power's gone. There's no stability there. From here, I want to expand heart with breath. How big can I make myself? And a lot of time people find that very overwhelming. They can't make themselves big. They don't want to make themselves big through whatever conditioning that's happened, and the way that they've learned how to survive. To make themselves big is a very frightening thing to do. But this is a very gentle way of coming into that. So you watch the emotions that start to rise. You watch the sensations in the body. Look for those sensations in your body. And if it starts to become overwhelming, you ground down into your feet. Use your breath. The exhale is a very good way of grounding into your body. Yeah? Without collapsing. Notice that when you exhale, do you collapse? Can you maintain that space, that power and energy of expanding into the ball? You might even start to feel a bit of a tremble, which is what we call charging in the body. You're creating a charge, which is all that's doing is making you aware of that part of your body. Perhaps there's a sensation that's stored there. And if you do get that, take the ball away. What is it that you need to do? It could be you need to shrug the shoulders. It could be that you need need to move those shoulders and chest. It might rise up. You just might need to... So many ways that you can shift and move anything that's stuck in your body. You don't need to put anything inside of you. You just need to realise what it is that you need. So if you're interested in this and what I've just discussed, please join me on the 19th of January at the Mini City Retreat in Shoreditch. It's a half-day workshop with my beautiful friend Rachel Dring, the organic vegan chef. We'll be using movement and breath and just all the tools that I have learned along with Rachel for a really great way of starting your new year. It's not about being a better you, not about being a newer you. It's about being you and celebrating you because you are amazing. So let's celebrate amazing, yeah? Thank you for tuning in.